I'm TC. I up with Tom Selleck and jumped on board his mortgage gimmick. You see, Tom owns about a dozen houses, and he isn't refinancing any of them. Sorry, he's not doing a reverse mortgage. But you should, and I trust these people. Do a reverse mortgage, by golly. All right, maybe the mustache gave it away that I am not Tom Selleck. And I think Tom Selleck must be like 80-something. Still looks pretty good doing those commercials. Aging well. He says, get that reverse mortgage. And you can trust these folks. Oh, boy. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. I have no idea about reverse mortgages. I mean, I understand the concept, but I don't know the company he's talking about or if I can trust him. Boy, I made the mistake of telling my mom, she's like 93 something, like that she couldn't remember something, and I just spouted off. And I said, maybe we need to get you some of that like medicine, for the mind that makes your mind sharper. And right away, she's like, Nariva, Prevagen. I'm like, oh my God. She just spouted off these like name brands right away. I was like, yeesh. It was just like the Lord himself was like, whoosh, like just cracked me one. Okay, I relent. I should be on the Prevagen, not my mom. I'm wrong. She's right. I mean, she just put me in my place like that. Boom. No hesitation. It's like, wow. Speaking of wow, what in tarnation is this weather? In a good way. Loving it, huh? How nice was today? This morning was like amazing. 58, 59, 60 degrees. You North Shore folks over there in Mandeville, North Covington, Cheyenne country and beyond. I wouldn't doubt if some of you had high 40s somewhere like in Bush or Folsom or something like that. Really, really nice weather morning. Incredible weather day. Beautiful day right now. Blue skies, sunny as can be. Maybe 70 degrees. You know what's the best part about today besides sunny and blue skies and maybe 70 degrees? 33% humidity. Where am I? The desert? 33% humidity. They're like 10%. 33% humidity, 70 degrees. Get down to the Rouses. Get your live crawfish. Enjoy them now. Get them live by the sack. I should say get your hot from the pot boiled crawfish. Enjoy them now. Get them live by the sack. Do your crawfish boil tonight. Rouses has all the supplies you need. From the crawfish to the pots to the burners, the propane, everything you need. Of course, the seasoning, the spices, everything. Maybe you just want to throw down some coals. Do some grilling. Vidalia onions are rolling in at Rouse's Markets. I grabbed a Vidalia onion, a big old bad boy from my favorite Rouse's. So easy, so convenient, has everything. That Rouse's on Ferret at Valence, in between Jefferson Avenue and Napoleon. I know a lot of you folks that don't frequent Uptown are like, Corey, Ferret's one lane each way. Ferret and Valence, that's like right in between Jefferson and Napoleon. Where can there be a Rouse's? They took over that space that was the Bloomingdale's store, this linear cinder block building about 40 yards long. They could have just gone in there, done some renovations, put a Rouse's sign up. Everyone would have been loving it. Paint it up bright and nice, paint the inside bright and nice. You know what they did? They tore down that worthless cinder block building, no historical value, nothing, and built a funky, eclectic, state-of-the-art store that fits into Uptown, anchors that incredible corridor now. I mean, a generation ago, I used to drive down Ferret in between Jefferson and Napoleon. I called it the Ferret Jet because, I was way over on the other side of Audubon Park, kind of like by Broadway and the river, the Black Pearl neighborhood, kind of over there. So it's Tchoupitoulas, tough to deal with. St. Charles Avenue, tough to deal with. Claiborne, kind of a hike to get down there. Ferret was the jet. And you could beeline down Ferret, especially like Jefferson Avenue to like almost zigzag over to LaSalle. You're downtown before you know it. It ain't the Ferret jet anymore. It's the Ferret slow. Between Jefferson and Napoleon. Every day I drive down there. The other day when I drove down there for the 100th time, I pulled into that Rouse's and I'm still like, I don't want to say jaw drop, but just like head bob. And I'm like, look at all the people. Look at this vibe down here. This street was almost like dead. And now it's got a great vibe late into the night. The neighborhood is so much better on either side of Ferret. Housing values have gone up. It's more ownership than rental. You want to know what those neighborhoods are? A lot of elderly black folks, like black folks that are like 50, 60 plus, that own their house, love their neighborhood. That's got to be 50% of the neighborhood. And then it's just a mix, I guess, of some rentals and college students, and then a lot of young, eclectic folks, black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever, buying into that neighborhood. It's funky. It's cool. I mean, if you're like that 18 to like 35, 18 to 40-year-old demographic, Ferret in between Jefferson and Napoleon is for you. And older. I'm older than that demo, and I love it. Top Hat, they got a lot of great places to eat on there. Just an incredible place. I mean, that street went from a half a dozen businesses a generation ago to 50 businesses and literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment. Hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. Plural, not 100 million. A few hundred million in between Jefferson and Ferret investment on that street. It's amazing. Definitely north of 100 million invested in between Jefferson and Napoleon on Ferret. Definitely north of 100 million invested in the last generation. No, it's awesome. Incredible. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. That's just a great street, and it's no longer the Ferret jet. And that Rouse's Market I went to is fantastic. Yeah, the weather's great. Get to Rouse's, pick up some goodies, throw down some coals, light up the gas, boil some crawfish, grill some steaks, some pork chops, some dogs, whatever. Get outside and enjoy this weather. I'm not going to say it's the last gasp, but we're getting there. By the way, Jazz Fest weekend number 1 starts Thursday. Zurich Classic on the West Bank, round number 1 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Looks like some pretty darn good weather in New Orleans. The next few days are tough to beat. We're not going to have this weather for Jazz Fest. What we're experiencing right now, what we're going to experience tomorrow, even dipping into early Wednesday. It's going to heat up slightly. Thursday, wake up around 67, it gets to 83. Friday, wake up around 68, gets to 84. Saturday, wake up around 72, gets to 85. Sunday, repeat, 72 to 85. So basically high 70s, low 80s to mid 80s. Hopefully the humidity's low. Hopefully some cloud cover. It looks like that. It's not going to be sunny like this, and you don't want this if it's 85, because it's going to just jack that up. It ain't going to be 85. Anyway, looks like no rain for Jazz Fest weekend number 1, and a little warm, but I wouldn't say hot and humid. I'd say a pretty darn good weekend when you got high 70s and 80s and not getting into the high 80s. I'd say that works pretty darn good. We'll take it. And we'll take this today. Telling some friends this morning when it was kind of cold, like 8:30, 9 a.m., I'm like, in just a few short weeks, less than that, it's going to be hot and humid for 6 months. So enjoy this outside. Enjoy this cold stuff in the morning. Yeah, speaking of enjoying outside, how about dinner tonight at Lebanon's Cafe? Dine outside at Lebanon's Cafe. 70 degrees, 33% humidity. They're open right now. They roll till 9:30. 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lamb chop, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. Sure, you can dine inside in the air conditioning, to-go orders. But I say take advantage of this great weather, outdoor dining. Tonight for dinner, Lebanon's Cafe. Corey Johnson with you. Gorgeous Monday afternoon, New Orleans.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations. New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint Supply.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon. Hey, you can always participate in the program. Just dial us up via the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480, 504-766-9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines. Always open. We don't screen calls. We never cut you off if we disagree. You're just out there. All of a sudden, you just hear me talking. Thanks, Dan, for the call in Gretna. Bill, you're up next. And just cut that person off. Never. Never. We welcome disagreement. I want to learn. I want to learn. I was with some buddies. We were talking about oil and gas and coal and all this stuff, and everybody's discussing it. I think some folks start thinking it's like some heated debate. I'm just like, I'm trying to gain information here, I know some stuff. I obviously don't know everything. Have a little bit of an opinion. Want to hear yours. Some folks don't want to get involved. That's fine. But talk radio, that's what it's all about. And that's what the Rouse's Markets phone lines are all about. Holla, 766-9480. And remember that number. You may want to call tomorrow, next week, next month, or I might throw out a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate question, a little trivia. Doing that in a few minutes as a matter of fact. And give away 50 big bucks good at the Woodhouse. Hey, guys, Mother's Day is next month, May 12th. Take care of mom. So many mothers, your mother, your wife, the girlfriend, mother of your children, your sister who's a mother, your aunt who's a mother. Your daughter might be a mother. Might have a granddaughter who's a mother. It's Mother's Day. Take care of mom on Mother's Day. And you know what she wants? She wants to get her nails done, her toes done, a facial, manicure. She wants a day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa. She wants to go to one of the 5 Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Now, guys, this is a big one. If your wife, girlfriends, or best friends, that's even better when both of you give that gift, because then they go together. The two ladies go together and enjoy the day of relaxation together at the Woodhouse. Grand Slam home run, Mother's Day, May 12th. Don't blow it, guys. Woodhouse Day Spa. You can check them out online, a virtual tour, or print your own gift certificate, gift card online. WoodhouseSpas.com. WoodhouseSpas.com. Jazz Fest week. Yeah, you right. Jazz Fest weekend number 1. 4 days this weekend, Thursday through Sunday. 4 days next weekend, Thursday through Sunday. No rain, 70s to mid 80s. So not brutally hot, not brutally humid. I'm sure if the sun pops out and it's 85 and it's 3 p.m, you might feel a little heat, but it's not like just where it's crushing you, where it's prohibitive. And it's not like today. We're not going to have today and tomorrow later in the week. I wish we did. I would trade like 88, 90 almost right now and tomorrow for days of Jazz Fest that I'm not even attending, because there are tens of thousands of folks that are. And there's so many folks, thousands that plan all year for this. You want it to go off without a hitch, like French Quarter Fest, Strawberry Fest did. Ideally, Bayou Boogaloo, Greek Fest, rolling on into the summer and everything. Essence, shall I continue? What you doing under there, man? Jazz Fest weekend number 1 this weekend. Zurich Classic. Rory's coming. Rory McIlroy. Should be a really good. That's going to boost crowds. Should be nice crowds at the Zurich. This is interesting and not surprising or shocking. It's just how we do things in Louisiana, and the citizens in Louisiana pick sides, usually Republican, Democrat, black or white. Pick your poison. Bunch of weak, insecure people picking their side, going with it no matter what, when their conscience tells you something's not right. And they just allow it to happen. We like getting beat up. We like getting walked on. And Jazz Fest weather, Corey said's good. Not too concerned that LSU sells out its academic research to oil and gas and chemical companies. Yeah, basically LSU apparently lets a lot of Louisiana companies, oil and gas companies. This is simple and logical and smart. This headline's fine. Apparently, LSU gets a lot of money from Louisiana oil, gas, and chemical industries. Chemical companies. That industry, oil, gas, chemical. It's LSU. It's the flagship in Louisiana. That makes perfectly good sense. That's expected. Influencing policy at LSU and studies and research and outcomes and directions of where the students and professors should go with that research is absolutely insane. And that's basically what's happening. The Lens does a really good job. It's like we've had the breakdown of newspapers, and we've had, thank God, the emergence of still real journalists going out there and spending the money, putting in the time. It's a lot of time and effort for little stories and then sometimes big stories. But LSU apparently likes giving the oil and gas industry a lot of influence. Like for $5 million, and I think Exxon is the one that paid the $5 million. They basically have their name attached to like a research arm at LSU. They'll let Exxon or any oil and gas company, chemical company, weigh in on faculty research activities. You donate six figures, $100,000, you can participate in a research study with, quote, robust reviewing powers and access to all resulting intellectual property. No, it's unbelievable. Chemical, oil, and gas can essentially go into LSU, pay them money, and they're going to be allowed to influence research, maybe restrict information that's released. Never forget Ivor Van Heerden. This is almost 20 years ago. All this guy said was, boy, the levees were shoddily built. The flood walls were shoddily built. The Army Corps of Engineers cut multiple corners. They built a bunch of crap, and a lot of the time they knew it was crap, and that a real, stressful, rare storm could compromise the system. The perfect storm, pun intended, hits Katrina. It was a terrible storm, but New Orleans survived pretty much intact. And then the flood walls gave way and the city flooded. A man-made disaster more than a natural disaster. Army Corps of Engineers, we know the story. We're New Orleanians, we're Louisiana folks. We don't need it repeated. Anyone that knows just the slightest bit of knowledge about that situation around the country knows what I'm talking about. And it does not need to be repeated. But the point is, Ivor Van Heerden, LSU professor, before all those studies were done and talking about newspaper stuffed in between cracks of flood walls instead of some kind of rubberized filling that holds water back, expands, and doesn't crack over time with weather and all of that. No, he's exposing all of this. He gets fired for it. LSU let him go. They said, enough's enough, old man. You got to go. I used to have him on my program talking about it. T-Wall. I mean, that's how we learn about all this stuff. That's why, like, this public records thing that the governor's trying to push through is so dangerous. The media, the free press, you want it. We'll figure it out on our own. I might watch Fox. I might watch MSNBC. I might think they're gospel. Whoop-de-doo. Some other people watch something else. Someone thinks they have the ultimate. I mean, it's almost no different serious than like Bible or Quran interpretation. It's all personal. No one has it right. No one has all the answers. But I can tell you, freedom of speech and public access to public records, it's mind-blowing. It's like outer space. My brain can't grasp this concept. They're called public records. Our records, yours, mine, Louisiana taxpayers, citizens, they're our records. I'm not embellishing or exaggerating this in the least bit. They're 110% ours. Those jokers, like the governor and these legislators with this legislation, we elected them. They literally work for us. We pay money with taxes to pay their salary for them to go to Baton Rouge and do this kind of crap. Now, this is why New Orleans and Louisiana, backwards ass, always last, suffering, not competing, this kind of crap. But this one is very, very, very dangerous. This one is anti-America, anti-First Amendment. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, black or white, it's irrelevant. Whatever side comes up with this kind of stuff, stifling public access to public records, it's a problem. And they're gung-ho in Baton Rouge on this because they want to do a bunch of stuff that they don't want you getting a peek at. They don't want to be scrutinized. They don't want to be lectured to. They know better. They don't need public records requests. You shouldn't be looking for that information. And the wording of the law is so vague, it covers everything, by the way. No, very, very dangerous. LSU, oil and gas industry, dangerous.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Zulu King, y'all. Talking about the Zulu King. Talking about the Zulu King, y'all. Talking about the
Yeah.
Zulu King.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. I made a mistake. I said Exxon was that $5 million donor. They only donated $2 million. It was a, quote, strategic partner level donor, a position that comes with a lot of review of academic study output, the ability to focus research activities. No, the big boy wasn't Exxon. I apologize. The big boy was Shell. They donated $25 million to LSU. $25 million. And that gives them major influence. And LSU sees how easily they can get this money, so they're seeking out other oil and gas and chemical companies. I'm just going to give you the basic kindergarten stuff. Here's a little prelim. I'm lucky, so maybe it makes it easy for me. I'm lucky. I've got a lot of family and lots of friends and acquaintances. Apparently, I'm a pretty nice guy, and the people I hang out with are too, so works out great. I'm lucky. With that said, I don't need to have any friends that are politicians or bigwigs or power people or any of that. I don't befriend anyone that's a celebrity or member of a band or a movie or any of that. Now, do I have some friends that are that? Sure. Naturally, just organically grew up with them, related to them, whatever. But nobody did I go seek and I want to be friends with them because they're this or perceived to be this. The opposite. I avoid the big shots. I'm not the loud person with my group at a restaurant. The opposite. I'm in a corner, tucked away, quiet. Do not disturb. Don't want the attention. I do this show every day. I don't need the attention. So I don't befriend these big shots naturally. And doing this show, I don't befriend them because I need to discuss them. So it's money makes people funny. It's hard to keep your integrity, your ethics, your morals when someone's paying you lots of money. And it takes ethics, integrity, and morals to say, no, keep your money. Don't want your money. I do that on this program. I don't want to say a lot, but sometimes. The recent gambling thing the last few years. I mean, which radio station doesn't have a personality talking about a specific gambling outlet and then another personality talking about another gambling outlet? Gambling. Now it's calmed down a little bit. And then the next big one is the lawyers, the attorneys. Don't accept a check till you check with me. You can trust me. I'm the strong arm. I'm, whatever. All these attorneys advertise. I kind of run from those money makers. That for some people, it could be like 50% or more of their income that do what I do. And I take none of it. So there's lots of things that I say, no, thank you. Thank you, no. Thanks for the interest, but no, that's not really my bag. I don't gamble. Can't really promote that. So when you get in bed with people that are paying you money, they're going to influence you if they want to or have an agenda, and you're taking that money. It's not good. And LSU is taking millions and millions of dollars from Louisiana's, and I shouldn't even say Louisiana, national and international oil, gas, and chemical companies. National and international. Very little money from locals in this case. But these guys are smart. They know that when LSU does some research, they're going to be able to influence it. It's like a poll. I say they're reputable polls, and they're not reputable polls. Some people are just like, I don't believe in polls. Whatever, then you don't believe in science. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. There are reputable polls. But the key is you're asking the correct question. It's not a question that leads the audience left or right or up or down or this or that. It's just an honest question without influence or any kind of agenda or that kind of thing. And if you have that, you can get pretty good information from a poll. It's going to tell you a margin of error. You can look at their history. There's a lot of companies that do polling for a business, and they've got a very good rep. There are media outlets that do polling, and their rep's very good. It is based off of science. Folks like that number of people, that you could have 900, 9,000, 90,000, the same results. So they know the threshold, all that kind of stuff. So it's very similar to that. It's very similar to that. It's not. Some people don't believe in that. I believe in polls. Anyway, LSU, I don't see how they're not going to have these chemical, oil, and gas companies influence the questions per se. And it's not a poll, it's research. They're going to, hey, guys, we're not looking for this, we're looking for that. And we'll get the answer to that a little, but and then just, tapping down results that they don't like at all and having so much influence. Call the governor. And the governor calls, and the LSU president, and then all of a sudden, that's why guys like Bob Mann, I know a lot of you conservative Republicans don't like Robert Mann. He is a liberal Democrat LSU professor, does not hide from being a liberal Democrat. Does not hide from it. So if you don't like Robert Mann for that, I hear you 1,000%. You're a conservative Republican. He's a liberal Democrat. I get it. Fully understood. Reasonable. But if you don't like Bob Mann when he's complaining about this, then you're not listening. You're not paying attention to facts. You don't want to hear it. I don't like Bob Mann. Everything he must say must be bad. He's bringing up really good points about these public records. And all of these things are like dominoes. So you get the oil and gas and chemical industry influencing research at LSU. They say, hey, it's going to cause cancer. They don't want that released. They call the governor. He calls the LSU president. President calls Robert Mann, and Mann stifles putting out the research. Mann's like, no, I'll quit. I quit. He's teaching his last few classes as we speak. Had him on last week. Now, that's why this stuff is dangerous. It's so hard. It sucks. Because if you're a Democrat or a liberal, you just want to cling to everything your candidate does and justify the things that aren't right. And the same thing with conservatives and Republicans. The thing is, you have to be strong enough to clearly know what's not right within your own party. Like brave Jason Williams, the DA, who has a large black base in New Orleans, and said, all this hyper woke, hyper liberal stuff that a lot of my black base in New Orleans embraces is wrong. Criminals need to go to jail. Someone 16, 17 that commits these violent, heinous crimes needs to be tried as an adult. Bail, bond needs to be hired. On and on and on. I can't have these 701 releases. On and on and on and on. So he changed, and it was brave and courageous. He didn't run on saying those things to get elected, and now he's selling out those folks. He changed. He saw the light. He's smart. He's full of common sense. He's like, man, this is obvious. And he embraced it. And a lot of folks he's alienated that were his base that now they feel he's turned his back on us. No, that was brave. That was brave. That's what Republicans need to do right now. Not all of Jeff Landry's. I'm not saying Jeff Landry's evil like the left thinks, especially the hardcore, that everything he does is terrible. Let's judge it, one thing at a time, and we can go through as many as you like. But right now, I'm just talking about like public records, stifling that. That is ridiculously dangerous. It's insane. It's hypocrisy. They're public records. They're our records. There's nothing that needs to be hidden. There's nothing. You have to question why he thinks there needs to be. And here's what's being sold behind the doors. Hey, all this does is get those liberals in the media with their agenda. It stops them from doing what they want to do. And you know what their agenda? It isn't real news. It's fake news. So they justify that. But it's dangerous when it's this selective thing, because one day it'll be Democrats back in power, and then you can use that public record stuff, or Republicans will be stifled from getting the records that they want from the Democrats. It's not good. There's nobody anywhere saying it's good. The author of the bill doesn't even understand the legislation, can't explain it. Started comparing it to the media when the media says we're not revealing that source. Might as well said spaghetti and meatballs, cinder blocks. Has nothing to do with the media and if they reveal their sources or not. And public elected officials not having their information viewable by the public. It's mind-blowing. They have nothing to do with each other. How is that even said? But that's what was said. And a lot of people are, yeah, sounds good. I like that, yeah. 2 + 2 = banana. Sounds good, yeah. 2 + 2 = banana. Sounds real good. All right, embrace that. Hey, on Fridays, Michael Heck joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc. I like Fantasy Friday. I like getting good economic news from Michael Heck. That segment, by the way, is always brought to you by Latrim. Speaking about great economic news, this company employs like 1,400 in Elmwood, a few hundred more up on I-12, and a few thousand more around the world. And you want to know what they do? They continue to grow, and they keep hiring New Orleanians like you. Go to Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latrim.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. The corporal's at the controls. We were just discussing in movies how you have to suspend disbelief sometimes. I was like, man, I love James Bond movies, but it's sort of true from Austin Powers, where the Cha-Ching kid, the redhead kid's just telling Austin Powers, kill him now. Just shoot him. What? And he's like, no, I'm going to feed him to the sharks. We're going to have a laser that lowers, light the candle that burns the rope. All this is like, no, just hit him now with a bat and shoot him. Feed him the shark right now. No, son. It's just like, and that's like James Bond all the time. It's like, you shot everybody. You finally caught him. And why are you hanging around and showing him your stuff and all this stuff? Just get rid of him. Move on with your plan. Got to suspend a little disbelief, Corporal. Otherwise, the movie goes down the toilet. I don't mean to digress into Roadhouse, okay? But the police show up, those 3 fat guys with the suits on, the sheriff and the police, they show up at the end of the movie. It's like, God, where were y'all when the jacked up truck drove through the Ford car dealership? When Red's auto parts building burned to the ground, arson clearly. Where were the police then? It's like no police in the entire movie till the final scene. So yeah, suspend disbelief. Jazz Fest week, yeah, you right. Zurich Classic week, yeah, you right. No rain, not as nice as today, but still really nice. It's not the opposite of today. It's not going to be hot and oppressive humidity and heat this weekend. It's going to be more than manageable and cloud cover at times and breezy. In my opinion, on a 1 to 10 scale, if this is 10 weather right now, if French Quarter Fest especially on Thursday and Friday, and even into Saturday and Sunday when it warmed up a little. What did they get? 8 weather on a 1 to 10 scale, 7 plus, 8. This is still 5 or 6 plus. You know, you start getting below 5, it's rainy, or it's 90 degrees and it's 90% humidity, and you got an ice cube on your head. I mean, everybody's been to Jazz Fest where it's just uncomfortably hot. You're sweaty. It's nasty. Then the dust starts blowing dirt around. It can get to that kind of conditions. Not this weekend. No rain. Should be nice. Not oppressively hot. Not like today, but 70s to mid 80s. The highs are mid 80s. Yeah, you're right. Not a surprise. LSU apparently, I don't want to say whores themselves out, but whores themselves out pretty much. If you're the oil, gas, chemical industry, just give us millions of dollars and we'll let you manipulate our professors and students' research. We'll let you have a say in the research. A great little rental property thing, gimmick, trick, whatever, rents $1,000. You pay by the 5th. You don't pay by the 5th, there's $100 penalty. So you end up paying $1,100. Or you can say, rent's $1,100. But if you pay by the 5th, I take $100 off and rent's only $1,000. Like it's an incentive to pay early. They're the same thing. The rent you're getting, you're expecting $1,000 a month, but just by wording it differently, it can be something pleasant or it can be something ugly. And I think you're going to have a lot of Cancer Alley. Let's not call it Cancer Alley. It's not Airline Highway anymore. It's Airline Drive. It's not the Industrial Canal. It's the Industrial Waterway. It's not Bridge City. It's Fairfield. Let's not call it Cancer Alley. Let's call it, we're trying to cure cancer. We're trying to put that something. Let's call it Opportunity Alley. Opportunity Alley. Because we're trying to cure cancer. So it's an opportunity where we can hopefully help these people. I mean, that's the kind of angle that when you have, instead of professors and students doing what they do, you have corporations influencing them, and that's dangerous. That's why I say, just like nationally, Department of Defense, I want like a general running that, someone with military expertise. I don't want some goofball off the street that doesn't understand how the military runs, doesn't understand war, doesn't understand sacrifice in war, doesn't understand young kids, what you're sending them into. I want someone that understands the military. I want someone that understands you got to go on the attack if these guys are doing this, and that's how you win. I want people that know what they're doing. I don't want somebody that's guessing or on the fly. So if that's what I want for my Department of Defense, why for the environmental, Department of Environmental Quality, or EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency? I mean, why would I want somebody that, like in Louisiana, this young lady who was the rowing captain at Ohio State a decade ago, helped run some Republican campaigns. She runs DEQ. She knows nothing about the environment. Her first line was, the governor told me to be pro-business. You don't want the Department of Environmental Quality being pro-business. You don't want the Department of Environmental Quality being anti-business. They have nothing to do with that. It's about the Environmental Protection Agency protecting us against folks that pollute. And in Louisiana, we're like, look, man, oil and gas, chemical industry, lots of jobs, lots of money. We're going to let them kind of dictate. And if they pollute, so be it. We're going to kind of look the other way. And if we can't look the other way, big fish kill, too many people saw it, so slap on the wrist and we'll move on. But we need these jobs. They control the state. They control it. And apparently now they control LSU and professors and students and research and conclusions and outcomes. Scary.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Where is Scooby-Doo? Been looking for that guy for like 4 straight days now. Made phone calls, called his buddies, like, I don't know where he's at. Called work, has not showed up at work. He's usually at the gym, and he hadn't been there. Anybody seen Scooby-Doo? If you have, give us a call, 766-9480. That's the Rouse's Markets phone lines. We're looking for Scooby-Doo in the 5 o'clock hour. Anybody seen Scooby-Doo? How about you, Mr. Drew Brees? It's New Orleans. It's not wherever Scooby-Doo was supposed to be located, huh? All right. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on a Monday afternoon, a gorgeous Monday. It's the broken record. Play it, Corporal. I'll just move my mouth. I'm going to do like one of those old poorly dubbed movies. Just because it's a broken record.
Old Kung Fu
Yep,
like style.
the old Kung Fu thing. Hey, everyone. I have to tell you, the weather is pretty incredible. I know I've been outside, and the weather's gorgeous. The sky is blue. The sun is out. It's 70 degrees. Hey, it's... And All right, that was that. 33% humidity. 70 degrees, 33% humidity. Absolutely incredible outside. Get outside and enjoy it. It is. It's incredible weather. It's gorgeous. Jazz Fest weekend #1, Zurich Classic. This Thursday through Sunday on the Best Bank. Looks like 70s into like mid 80s, but no high 80s and no rain. So all in all, I'd say a pretty good Jazz Fest weekend #1 weather forecast right now on a Monday, and Zurich Classic. Definitely could be a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse, like rain in the forecast. There isn't any. Hot, hot, hot. It's not going to be hot, hot, hot. So I'm happy about it. And I'm happy about this great weather we're having right now. It is unbelievable right now. And tomorrow's supposed to be a rinse and repeat. All I can say is get outside and enjoy it. Told some buddies, some friends this morning, it's like 8:30, 9 a.m. It was cool outside. We were outside. I was like, man, it's a little cold, and I don't like the cold. That's why I live in New Orleans. I'm a Southern boy. I like this climate. I like this top of the subtropic zone we live in. It's like perfect. But I was like, no, embrace this cool, because it's not cold. It's high 50s, low 60s. It's breezy, but it's gone soon, and it's gone soon for 5 or 6 months. More of the broken record. Shall we do it again? Hey, this weather, it's going to go away soon. It's going to be 5 months of heat. You better enjoy it. I'll tell you. That was terrible. Plus, radio is not getting it. You have to watch on TV or YouTube to see the pathetic mouth movements that don't line up to the words. Oh, boy. Corey, stick to things you know. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. All right, 5 o'clock power coming your way. I know talk radio, talk television. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. The Corporal's fielding your phone calls, 766-9480. I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. That's right, Mother's Day, May 12th. Next month, a few weeks away, Mother's Day. You know what mom wants? A day of relaxation at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. 41 years ago, it was the last summer for this New Orleans institution. 41 years ago, the last summer. It's amazing. This New Orleans institution, prime piece of real estate, 40 plus years now. Not happening. Nothing going on out there. 41 years ago, the last summer of this New Orleans institution. Name that New Orleans institution. Give me the answer to that. I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Out in the East, it opened in May of 2000. It closed in August of 2005. 2 different owners, maybe more owners, but 2 primary owners, 2 different names. Each group had this New Orleans entity for about 3 years. So 6 years total. Opened in 2000, closed in 2005. It was starting to work. It was starting to be profitable. It was starting to kind of gain traction. What am I talking about? Give me the answer to either one of those questions, and I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. They're in New Orleans in Mid-City. They're in Metairie near North Kenner. They're in Slidell. They're in Mandeville. They're in Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. Don't blow it, guys. May 12th, Mother's Day. Take care of mom on Mother's Day. Woodhouse Day Spa. It's what she wants. Boy, LSU. If you're Shell, Exxon, any oil and gas chemical company in Louisiana, LSU wants your money. And the best part about it is you get to influence the research and all the what the students, what the teachers, what the professors, everything they're doing, what they're investigating, what they're looking to find out, you get to influence it. You can change the narrative. You can flip the script. You can change the outcome, the results, the name of what they're doing, manipulate the questions, manipulate the research, influence policy, results, outcomes. It's crazy. LSU apparently gets a lot of money from Louisiana's oil, gas, and chemical industry. That's expected. That's expected. But to allow them to influence professors, teachers, students, and their research is absolutely insane. Just literally selling out. You know, there's a reason. I'm lucky. I said it last hour. I've got a lot of friends and family, acquaintances. I avoid the big shots, but with this job, you got to avoid the big shots. I don't want to befriend elected officials that I have to discuss on the radio or television. The ones that I do know that I'm like, quote, friendly with, they're kind of like acquaintances. I think they know that they do something wrong, they do something questionable, I am going to be all over them. There's no one out there that has control over me by influencing me with gifts or money or this or that or any of that. I avoid the big shots naturally. And then especially with this job, now I've got to, sometimes it's a lot of praise, but sometimes it's a lot of criticism. And when you befriend people, it's hard to criticize your friend, especially in a public setting like this. When money is given to you, it's hard to criticize the person that's influencing you with money. LSU is taking a lot of money, not indirectly from oil and gas chemical companies. That would be something you'd have to look into automatically. Directly, like sponsor this research, sponsor this group of students and faculty, sponsor this named blah, blah, blah. Shell gave $25 million. Exxon, $2 million. That's a lot of influence. And that's not a good thing. You want LSU and its research and its students and its professors, all of that. You want autonomy there, especially when they're scrutinizing the oil, gas, and chemical industry. They'll be renaming Cancer Alley, Harmony Alley, Possibility Alley. We're going to cure cancer. It's about Hope Alley instead of Cancer Alley. They'll manipulate and change a lot of things. You can stick a tuxedo on a cockroach. It's still a cockroach. In Louisiana, the oil and gas and chemical industry controls this state. You've got a governor that wants to weaken the DEQ, the Department of Environmental Quality. That's already weak. We already have a polluted state. We already have oil and gas chemical industry. We all know it. They pollute and they get away with it because they control things. When there's a fish kill or something overt that can't be overlooked, DEQ steps up and slaps them on the wrist with some lame fine. And then they joke about it later that night in Baton Rouge at some restaurant. DEQ in Louisiana, we need to be more friendly, be more pro-business. No, you need to worry about the environment. The opposite, if anything. Businesses aren't going anywhere. They're here to stay in the oil and gas chemical industry.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
You right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday. A couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. 41 years ago, it was going to be their last summer. After decades and decades and decades in operation, 41 years ago was their last summer. They closed back in 83. And surprisingly, prime location, nothing's gone on there ever since. Got an answer? What's that New Orleans entity that used to exist that enjoyed their last summer 41 years ago? Right around this time of year, they'd be like opening up on weekends. And then maybe late next month, open up every day. I think every day. Maybe they were closed on Mondays, maybe. I think they were closed on Monday, but open every day otherwise for the summer season. Give me the answer. I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. Mother's Day's next month, May 12th. Similar place opened in May of 2000, closed in August of 2005. Out in the East, give me the answer. 50 big bucks can be yours at one of the 5 area Woodhouse locations just in time for Mother's Day. The Trump trial got the jury getting ready to roll. I guess it's in theory week 2, but it's really just getting started. The House late last week passing aid to Ukraine, Israel / Gaza, Taiwan. Thank goodness. The House also passed anti-TikTok legislation. China needs to divest itself, or Chinese ownership needs to divest itself of TikTok, sell it, or it will be banned in the United States. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. You know what's special about Leidenheimer French bread? Besides that they've been baking that Leidenheimer French bread at Leidenheimer Baking Company since 1896, since the late 1800s, for over 125 years. They still bake it. Time-honored recipe, still baking that Leidenheimer French bread you love right here in the city of New Orleans. No, 5 generations, family owned and operated, New Orleanians, now in about 20 plus states all over the Southeast, shipping out Leidenheimer French bread baked only in New Orleans. They're not subbing it out to some other bakery, putting Leidenheimer on the bag and sending it out. They're shipping it out from New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread, to 20 plus states now in the Southeast. Now, all that's great. But 2 things jump out to me about Leidenheimer French bread that just tough to beat as a native New Orleanian. There's no better French bread for holding that po' boy sandwich together. It's amazing. You grip it, it doesn't crumble and break apart. You take a bite out of it, it doesn't just break apart in your hands. It stays all together. It holds the shrimp, the oyster, the roast beef all together like no other French bread. It's amazing. It is the premier po' boy French bread, Leidenheimer. And then what's amazing about Leidenheimer French bread, like going to a high-end restaurant and that little mini loaf piping hot, sometimes in a bag, sometimes wrapped in a cloth napkin. Get some room temperature butter on that, or at home, pulling it out of the oven, piping hot, that crispy outside, that soft, wonderful center. It's just tough to beat Leidenheimer French bread. It's absolutely delicious. Makes that po' boy sandwich. Gets that meal at that, mid to high-end restaurant started right. I told you about a place I go. I tweeted to him, what's up with the Leidenheimer? You got rid of Leidenheimer French bread? Understand y'all are a national chain and you bought this local New Orleans restaurant. But you can't ship in bread that you have at all your other little gimmicky restaurants. This is New Orleans. Bread's an important part of the meal. Make it Leidenheimer. They still haven't changed back to Leidenheimer. I'm not going to that restaurant. Seriously. Wrecks the meal. First thing I'm eating at a meal in New Orleans is the bread. It better be Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. So good. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock powwow on this Monday. Brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. No, a real bummer. Up in Baton Rouge at LSU. We already know that the oil and gas and chemical industry runs the state of Louisiana. They pollute. They pretty much do what they want. The Department of Environmental Quality in Louisiana is ridiculously weak. They only do something when the spill or the pollution is so overt that there's a fish kill or people are affected or something like that. And then it's a minor fine, a slap on the wrist. So they already control it. Now you have legislation that is even more pro oil and gas chemical industry. Now you have a Department of Environmental Quality head who was the rowing captain at Ohio State a few years ago, ran some Republican campaigns in South or North Dakota, and Governor Landry pegged her as the DEQ chief. And the first thing out of her mouth is the Department of Environmental Quality, the governor wants it to be more pro-business. Now we hear that LSU is taking money, millions of dollars, like $25 million from Shell, $2 million from Exxon, and they're soliciting funds from other oil, gas, and chemical companies to sponsor professors, students, initiatives where they're doing research in oil, gas, and chemical industry. And sometimes it could be adverse, like how it's affecting coastal erosion in Louisiana, Cancer Alley, how it's killing people in Louisiana. Now, LSU, the professors, the teachers, the university, in bed with the oil and gas and chemical industry. Their research, their fact-based research now will be manipulated or even changed. Policy, results, outcomes manipulated, not by facts, but by what's the best interest of the oil, gas, chemical industry that gave LSU millions of dollars. It's a natural they're going to donate to LSU automatically. Sponsoring these professor, student-driven, it's really like an investigation. They're doing research into specific things, like I mentioned, coastal erosion and the effects of it from the oil and gas industry. Cancer Alley, how the oil and gas and chemical industry has skyrocketed cancer rates among these folks that live near these plants in between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Just not good. What about us? This is the Mississippi River. This is always going to have oil and gas and chemical plants. The Department of Environmental Quality's first goal should be environmental quality, protecting us, not be pro-business. They shouldn't be anti-business, but it's all about the environment, not about business, pro or con. But the governor and this new head of DEQ that has no expertise at all in the environment, first thing out of her mouth about pro-business. I want it pro-environment. I want Michael Hecht and Greater New Orleans Inc. and those folks pro-business go get the businesses. No, it's not good when you have a weak Department of Environmental Quality that the new person they're bringing in acts as if it's restricting businesses, the opposite. The inmates run the asylum. You have legislation that's being passed to soften up environmental regulations. And now LSU, the flagship school in Louisiana, is selling out to the oil, gas, and chemical industry. Just sinful and not good for the citizens of Louisiana at all. Not good for any of us. It's the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. Business as usual in Louisiana. Isn't that sad? Trump trial going on. Week 2. The House approves aid to Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Taiwan. Yes. It's about time. House passes anti-TikTok measures. Look, I'm into free speech, but China's not. It's like LIV Gulf. Hey, man, purest form of capitalism. They're just throwing money at it. No, it's not. They're not a capitalistic society. The women don't have the same freedoms as men. It's not apples to apples. No, I'm not into banning TikTok, but yeah, Chinese interests, divest yourselves or TikTok gets banned. I have no problem with that. Wednesday up in Baton Rouge, celebrating another national championship. Yeah, you right, Tigers. The LSU gymnastics team. I love it. They've been so close for so many years, making the Final Four, getting runner-up number 2, second. No one remembers second. LSU gymnastics team, national champions. They'll have an on-campus parade tomorrow. Boy, the Pels, what a good game last night. Hanging with Okie City all game long. And then losing right at the end. A chance to win. A chance to tie and force overtime down by 2 or jack up a 3 and win by a point. Not a good end of game shot. Oklahoma City at home escapes with a 2-point victory. Fletcher Mack, I'm going to have to grill him on Friday. Fletcher tweeted like, it could be a sweep now. It could be a sweep. And is it the emotional letdown of a 2-point loss? Or, the CJ makes that 3 last night and the Pels win and then they're going to lose the next 4? Is that what Fletcher's saying? I can't wait till Friday to hear what he's going to say. Brett Martell from the Associated Press is going to join us in a few minutes. We'll get his take on the Pels and that tough 2-point loss. By the way, they go at it again. I think it is mañana, I want to say. Yep, TNT. Tomorrow night, 8:30 tip-off again. Let me get the entire schedule for the Pels. Because I think, let's see, Saturday, this is crazy. Saturday, Oklahoma City at the Smoothie King Center, 2:30 in the afternoon. Couldn't be a worse time because you have Zurich Classic going on and French Quarter, and Jazz Fest going on. Like a nighttime game, you'd have folks going to Jazz Fest, then I'm going to the Pels at the Smoothie King Center. Going to golf, going to Zurich Classic, then I'm going to Pels at Smoothie King Center. Instead, it's all three competing. It's a playoff game. Pels fans are Pels fans, and there's a strong base of them. And when there's a playoff game against the number one seed at the Smoothie King Center, they're not going to Jazz Fest on Saturday, or they'll get there at 11 and they'll leave at 2 and go to the game. Or they'll go to the game at 2:30, tip-off, it's done by 5, and they'll catch the last 2 hours of Jazz Fest if they're that hardcore or have a brass pass or whatever. Pels fans will be there. Zurich Classic won't be affected. Jazz Fest won't be affected. There'll be 30,000 plus at the Zurich, 40,000 plus at the Zurich on Saturday. There'll be 70,000 at French Quarter, at Jazz Fest, excuse me. And the Pels at Smoothie King Center will have 16, 17, 18,000. It'll officially be, quote, sold out. But it is a 2:30 tip-off Saturday, game 3 from the Smoothie King Center. And then I guess it would be a Monday night game, I'm guessing. Monday night game for the Pels. So a minimum of 4 games. Last night was such a bummer because besides stretching the series at least to 5, it just gives the Pels a really good fighting chance. You win one, you steal one at Oklahoma City. Then you take one at home, and it's tied up at 2-2 with 3 to go. It's a 3-game series all of a sudden. No, last night was brutal, losing by 2. Brutal. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning has been with you since 1940, a New Orleans institution. If you're tired of your dry cleaner, or if you just want to experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. I've been dealing with Young's, been going to Young's with my dry cleaning for over 30 years. My mom over 50. youngsdrycleaning.com. youngsdrycleaning.com. Jazz Fest week, Zurich Classic week, no rain expected. Yeah, you're right. Hey, May 12th, coming up in just a few weeks, guys. Don't blow it. Mother's Day. I've got 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse for you. 41 years ago, they would be getting ready for another summer. Instead, they closed. Well, I shouldn't say that. 41 years ago, it was their last summer. They were preparing for their last summer. In August of 1983, they closed after decades and decades of service in a prime location. Summertime fun. What closed back in 83? 41 years ago, they were preparing for their last summer. They'd be open like on weekends right now, like in May, late April, maybe May for sure. And then by the end of May, they'd open up for the summer, like 100 days straight. But maybe closed on Mondays. I'm trying to remember. This thing, very similar, opened in 2000, closed in 2005. 6 seasons of fun. Name it. You got the answer to either one of those. I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, why aren't you checking out the Pels on the flat screens over at Katie's in Mid-City? Are you kidding me? Katie's in Mid-City has flat screen TVs, but it's not a sports bar. It's the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, meaning New Orleans food, New Orleans specialties, old school, po' boys to pizzas, seafood platters, seafood dishes, a Mid-City mainstay with lots of flat screen TVs to check out the Pels. As New Orleans as it gets, Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Yeah, you right. Blue Plate Mayonnaise, new look, same legendary taste. The Blue Plate mayonnaise you love in that squeeze bottle, in that jar with a new label. Blue Plate mayonnaise since 1927, 95 plus years, a New Orleans family tradition. It's on your grocery shelf. It's at your Rouse's. Blue Plate mayonnaise, new look, same legendary taste. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Another summer. We're on the brink of another summer in New Orleans. And not a lot of movement. A lot of talk, but not a lot of movement. It's been closed for over 60 years. Lincoln Beach out on Hain Boulevard, closed for over 60 years. It's never, ever been reopened. There's never, ever been any reinvestment. A natural beach with good water quality on Lake Pontchartrain, closed to the public. Folks have to illegally snake through a fence or go over the flood wall or, through that little tunnel and go out to the beach, which they do, but never a real reinvestment in that area. Over 60 years. Other cities in the country would cut off an arm to have that natural beach. They make it themselves, man-made. Pontchartrain Beach, over 40 years now, shuttered. Over 40 years. Now, the beach office development, the office park working with UNO, that's a nice plus. But on the other side of the levee, the, quote, beach on Lake Pontchartrain, like Lincoln Beach, cut through the fence, go around the fence, climb the flood wall. You have to kind of illegally access it, and folks still do. Folks by boat access each one. They'll come from the lakeside, anchor right off the beach, and wade on out onto the beach, lay out on the beach, enjoy themselves. Dogs and folks running around with their pets. Lincoln Beach, 60 plus years sitting idle. Pontchartrain Beach, 40 plus years sitting idle. West End Park, going on 20 years now, sitting idle. West End Park, right on the parish line of Orleans and Jefferson. Brunnings, Fitzgerald's. No development there. Mind-blowing. Like I said a second ago, other cities would cut off their arm for these assets. Natural water, natural asset. When they don't have it, they build it themselves. Oklahoma City built a river through the city. The San Antonio River, the river walk in San Antonio, you could pole vault across it. It's like a little canal. They maximize these things. We do the opposite. Another summer, we're upon it. We're on the brink of it. Another year, another decade, another half century, essentially, in some cases. These places not being utilized, not taking advantage of Lincoln Beach, Pontchartrain Beach, and West End Park. Just something wrong with that, New Orleans. Something very wrong with that. I know the mayor's secured money for Lincoln Beach. I haven't seen anything going on, and summer's about to start. There's definitely nothing going on out there this summer. Pontchartrain Beach a few years ago, huge plans, looked great. Nothing ever came of it. A lot of complaining. They left. Those plans are gone. West End Park, I haven't heard anything about that. Nothing. And that actually is divided between Jefferson and Orleans, almost right down the middle. So those two parishes would have to get together to get something going on West End. Nearly impossible. Hey, on Wednesday, the LSU gymnastics team will have a parade on the LSU campus. Will Brett Martell be in attendance? Brett Martell joins us from the Associated Press. How you doing, Brett?
Great, Corey. How are you? I don't think I'll be there.
Have you checked out any gymnastics events? Have you, has the AP sent you to cover LSU gymnastics ever?
They sent me last year to try to interview Livy Dunn after that crazy stuff happened in Utah. And you have a beeper going there, where the boys all freaked out and were yelling at her and were becoming a big distraction. So but she refused to be interviewed for that.
Yeah, I know. The NIL is the way it is. I'm not Nick Saban saying, It's how it is. There's going to be federal laws. Things are going to be changed. There's going to be universal laws, not state to state, blah, 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 blah. But when you as a reporter are requesting an interview with an LSU student athlete and they're saying go through their agent, that is a problem. That's a problem. And their agent has the power to deny you access to that student athlete. That's a major problem. That's one of the things, Brett, that better be addressed in the legislation that I don't think a lot of people are thinking of. They're more thinking about uniform rules, limiting money, what states, how you do it, not state to state, but a federal law. But the media thing is important.
Yeah, I think it is important, but I'm in the media, so I'm biased. But I think that most of the concentration, as far as legislation goes, with the NIL will be on trying to just make it as fair as possible financially for all the Division I schools.
Yep. Anyway, Wednesday, LSU gymnastics picking up their first national championship. Yeah, you're right. Go Tigers. Brett, last night was brutal. I mean, you steal a win in Oklahoma City game 1. That is gigantic. The way you lose by 2, the blown opportunity, almost equally as gigantic in the opposite direction. I don't know. I mean, that's a, I don't want to say devastating loss, pretty damn close to devastating loss. The win would have been just so powerful, would have been huge.
A win could have been really big. But I think the important thing they showed is that they can compete with these guys. It's an 8 seed versus 1 seed, but they can go on the road and they can compete with them. They can play them down to the wire, and they probably, let's face it, they had a really good chance to win that game. They missed, I think, 4 shots in the last minute and a half.
Yep.
Just all of a sudden their offense fell apart. So, and that's been a problem for them in late game situations.
Brett, I mean, I'm not trying to be a naysayer. If I had to bet, I would think I'm not betting with the spread. I'm saying I think Oklahoma City's probably going to handle the Pels tomorrow night. It's not going to be some close down to the wire game. But then I would think the game one at the Smoothie King Center, game 3 of the series, the first home game, I should say, Saturday afternoon, maybe more like game 1, a down to the wire type game. Do you sense the same thing, or are you thinking the Pels can make it tight again tomorrow night in Oklahoma City?
Well, I think it'll be a do or die game if they when they come back home, and should be tight if they are down 2-0, which happens a lot in these kind of series.
Yep.
But no, I suspect that the Pelicans, if anything, they've always been a good focused team on the road. I think they're disappointed they lost, but they're encouraged by how well they competed, and hopefully they'll try to learn from what went wrong in that game and what they did well. And I would expect another competitive game. They were really good defensively. I mean, it's just a matter of kind of maintain sort of defensive intensity that they had a limited, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for most of the game.
Yep. Brett, when a team goes up by 7, 8, 10 points, 11 points, whatever, and then the other team goes on a little run, and but the other team is the one that keeps getting the lead, losing it, getting it, losing it. It's difficult for the team that's not taking the lead all the time, like the Pels last night. They kept falling behind, kept coming back, falling behind, kept coming back, falling behind, kept coming back. It's hot. The other team's going to get hot again when they go cold, and the Pels are going to go cold because they've been so hot. My point is, it's hard to sustain that, overcome the deficit, take a lead, and then go run away with the victory. So, like the last second shot last night, that's what makes it even more painful. That was like their shot, pun intended.
Not just that, but they kind of botched the possession a little bit.
Yeah, they botched it.
Losing the handle there and then having to do more of a desperation kind of,
yep,
double pump runner from behind the 3-point line.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No play set up, didn't get a play set up, not a lot of passing, not shooting the ball with 1 or 2 seconds left. No, it was just desperation, like you said, almost lost the ball, almost a turnover. and a few turnovers down the stretch that were costly. But no, you're on the road in the NBA, still out of all the pro sports leagues, on the road in the NBA is the toughest, especially during playoffs, because all of a sudden all the NBA teams start playing defense, for the first time in a lot of cases all season. No, that was just a tough one. That's a hard one to swallow. I think it's going to be hard for them to overcome. Now, your cohort in crime, Fletcher Mackel, he had an interesting tweet. He was like, Pels are going to get swept probably now, lose 4-0. I'm just curious, I want to ask him, is it because of the emotional defeat, like having the win right there and blowing it? Or is it because they lost? I mean, because I want to know if it's the emotional way they lost or if CJ makes that 3 and the Pels win by 1 last night, Brett, is Fletcher saying they're losing the next 4 straight? So I know you can't speak for him. I just thought that was an interesting tweet where
I know Fletcher very well, and I think that odds are that he's the one having the emotional response.
Nice. I like that. Hey, Corporal, let's cut that bite right there and replay it Friday for Fletch. We're going to stick that in Fletch's face. Leave all that part about sticking in his face on that cut, too.
No, I'm kidding with him. But
Not that part. Edit that part out.
He has a lot of hot takes, and he knows he's willing to make fun of himself on those. But look, it's a 7-game series. And
what do you think's going? How many games do you think this series is going to go, Brett?
I think it has the potential to go 6. I think the Pelicans are good enough to beat them twice. I don't know if they're good enough.
What's that? We lost you for a second, Brett. They're good enough to beat them twice. You don't know if they're what?
Yeah, I don't know if they can do more than that. But there is like the coach of like Mark Gagne said, he's the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder before the series started. He said there is a version of the Pelicans without Zion Williamson that is very good. And they got that version last night.
Yep.
And it pushed them to the limit on their own court.
Yep. Hey, is Zion Williamson out for indefinitely? We will not see him again this season, right?
Well, I'm skeptical. I mean, I think that it's possible that technically he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks from the time of his examination. So that's after the first 4 games of the series. If the series goes 5 games, then technically he could be available. But given the type of injury and his body type and his injury history, you can't be too optimistic that he's going to be ready to go, at least in this series.
I was watching the game last night, Brett. Wasn't it 2.5 weeks ago, the Pels were the 4 seed, 4th, right? 4.
I think they climbed as high as 4th or 5th. Yeah, very briefly.
Yeah, 15, 20 days ago, and then barely slipped in as the 8th. Just mind blowing.
Well, they really finished as the 7th, but they could have clinched the 6th on the last day of the season, but they lost 4 to 5 at home, then they won 4 straight on the road. And then they lost to the Lakers, in the season finale. And so that put them down to 7th. And then they lost to the Lakers in the play and went down to 8th.
Yep. Brett, you will be out at the Zurich this weekend?
I will be.
Nice. What have you done any pre-stories? Any ideas on pre-story? Would Rory be involved in that? What are you thinking?
Most likely to do something on Rory McIlroy, yeah.
Good. Nice.
And why he chose to come and why he wants to play team golf here now.
Nice. Have you had a chance to talk with him?
I'm hoping to get a chance on Wednesday.
Nice. Excellent, Brett. Nice. Looking forward to that. Anything else going on in the world of sports, Brett?
We got the draft coming up, and it's a big draft at the Saints, and they're picking in the middle of the first round as far as we know, but they've got a lot of late round picks they could use to maybe, 4th, 5th round picks they could use to maybe, climb up a spot or 2 if they have someone they really want. And it's looking like they really got to probably have an offensive tackle.
This year, it's funny. What is it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday still, or did they change it up?
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah,
there just doesn't seem to be a local interest in the Saints and the NFL draft like there usually is. Am I missing something? The draft is this Thursday.
Well,
am I wrong or right?
I think that there's less buzz than usual, but they've been mediocre now in the middle of the.
Uh-oh, lost you there. What's that, Brett? Less buzz than usual, but what?
I mean, they've been mediocre for 3 seasons running, and they're not picking in the top 10.
Right.
So.
Yep. Brett, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for the info.
You got it, Corey.
That's Brett Martell, Associated Press, over 28 years. The Saints, by the way, have the 14th overall pick. Then they have the 45th overall pick. That's from the Broncos. And then it's really not a lot of, there's no 3rd or 4th round selection. They do have 4 5th round picks, 2 6th rounds, and a 7th. A 1st, a 2nd, the 14th, the 45th, and no 3rd or 4th. It's 4 picks in the 5th round after that. What's that, Blue Boy? You don't have the interest in the NFL draft that normally you do either. Yeah, that's what I've been noticing, buddy. Maybe it'll pick up as the week progresses. Hey, see you tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock Tuesday. Be there, mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.